I wanted to make an announcement. As you guys know, that tomorrow we'll be celebrating our senior day for Xavier and John, but there's a big announcement to make regarding Austin. Austin Davis will be returning for his 5th year. I gave him the news yesterday. He was super excited. Just to see the smile on his face, and he gave me 3 hugs, and he held me tight too, so that made me just know from that hug and those hugs, excuse me, those were a feeling of a guy who's really excited about coming back and being a student athlete here at the University of Michigan. We're excited to have him back because, you know, Austin being a great teammate he is, but he also a joy to coach. He's shown a great leadership throughout this year. He's also shown a lot of growth on the court as well as in the classroom. So as far as his excitement that's in his feelings and his voice, you know, we're excited to make that announcement and to see, you know, one of our guys who was a Michigan man returning next year to help lead this program next season with the future that we're building here at the school. But I wanted to let you guys know that, so if you have any questions now, please feel free.
Go ahead.
Well, I guess staying on the topic of Austin, just can you go into more detail about how you guys came to that decision of him coming back? And I'm wondering now, since that decision has been made, if you can talk a little bit more about what happened in that meeting between the two of you that you talked about a couple of weeks ago.
Well, we had a great meeting 2 weeks ago. He was talking about his future, and he shared with me as far as, you know, I'm aware of anatomy and it's something that he's really strong about. And physical therapy is another one of areas that he's really considering in the future. So we talked about, you know, just that alone as far as, you know, his future with the program on the court, and I really admired his work ethic. I really appreciated how he's came out each day, approached every day in practice, working to get better as a player and serving to help his teammates. And you've seen the growth this season. We've all witnessed it. So it was an easy decision for me, just to knowing that we have a guy who's all in, love being here in Michigan, and love playing for the team, and I enjoy coaching.
All right.
Did Austin express throughout the year that he wanted to be back for the year? And did that play a role in the decision to ask him to come back?
Well, he was basically just thinking about what was the best situation for his future. So I just felt yesterday was the perfect time to let him know that we want him back here next year.
And then I guess your first senior day tomorrow, what do you expect from it, your emotions, everything surrounding the pregame festivities?
Well, I mean, we still have a game to play. So Nebraska is a team that, yeah, it doesn't show up on their record how good they are, but they've proven that they can beat some teams in the Big Ten. They also proven that they're a very competitive team. So we do not want to get distracted by the fact that we do have a game to play, but we will celebrate 2 of our seniors, right? 2 guys who have been great student athletes here at the University of Michigan. It's been a joy to coach for the 10 months that I've been here, and I'm just happy to be a part of their success.
John?
You mentioned Austin's growth. Can you talk about some specific areas of his game where they've advanced far enough this year that you were convinced he'd be a real asset next year?
Well, his production on the court, first accepting his role to be able to serve. In the beginning of the season, he was like our 3rd center coming off the bench. Originally, I had Colin as that backup center, and Austin just came in practice, been very supportive, respectful, and has did whatever we asked him to do without without showing any resistance. So he's been patient with his role, and then when his name called on, whenever he got that time to go out there and compete, he's always given us great production off the bench. I never wavered at any point of not playing him because he's proven that he deserved to play. So overall, I just seen a lot of growth offensively. When we've been able to throw the ball into him, he's been extremely patient on the low block and also been effective. I've I've seen how he's competed in pick-and-roll situations and guarding a lot of ball screens, buying into the details of the scouting report, spending a lot of off time coming in the gym, working on his game, spending time, in the film room with myself and assistant coaches. He's shown that he wants to play basketball. He enjoyed playing here at the University of Michigan.
Andrew?
A couple of just timeline things with Austin. I feel like it was a week or two ago that you told us about that breakfast you had with him. It was maybe even a week or two before that. So I guess
Practice, you say?
You said you had breakfast with Austin?
Oh, yes,
That
we had
was-
breakfast, yes.
That was, like, do you remember, like, which game that was before?
No,
was it
I
a
don't
month ago?
remember which game, because all these days are running, so close together, and sometimes I forget what day it is, to be honest with you.
And then as far as telling him, was it in front of the team or was it a one-on-one thing?
Oh, I told him it was one-on-one.
Okay.
I don't think it was no need to make a big, huge announcement. I just felt that, that was the right thing to do and the right way to do it.
And then last thing, scholarships, they're not infinite, you have a certain allotment of them, I guess. How does that factor in, knowing that, you're still figuring out exactly what next year's roster will look like? Does that make it, is that a challenge, I guess?
Well, all I can say is, I don't like to, look forward to next year because we still have a season to play. And I just know that Austin Davis will be a part of it. That's all I can tell you right here.
Thanks.
And that's all I'm comfortable saying at this moment.
Action.
Just with Austin, I think a lot of people have been surprised by his output this season, but I'm wondering, when you first got here, did you foresee him, I guess, contributing at the level that he has contributed so far?
Yes, I did. When we first started our player development workouts in July, and I recall having a coaches retreat with our staff, and this was back in September, and I asked each staff member to give me a list of 8 guys that they feel that fits that 8-man rotation, and Austin was a part of my 8. After what I observed from July up until September.
And then just with the week ahead and 2 games left, and we're almost to the Big Ten tournament, and I know you've talked so much about not wanting to look ahead and taking things game by game, but with so much still at stake and the seed range that's possible for you guys, I guess how confident are you that the players have really bought into that message and aren't worrying about whether they're going to be an 11 seed versus a 7 seed or something like that?
Our players are always know from the leadership that we take game by game and control the controllable. Let's take care of us first. So we'll see at the end of the season where the chips fall.
Zach?
With Davis, I know you had him in your 8. I don't know if many fans or outsiders would have. I guess, what was the key to him getting into that rotation, and then what can the team?
I just stated it earlier.
Oh, sorry.
Like, what he's done in practice, as far as what he's proven on the floor with his play out there. He's just a joy to coach, and I'm just enjoying how he's just blossoming in all our eyes.
And then if I could switch to the seniors you are honoring, how would you describe I know you weren't here for all 4 years, but how would you describe the impact Davis and John Teskey had?
Well, what I've witnessed from afar, they've been great. I've been big fans of John and Xavier as far as how they represented this school and also how they represented their families. Their work ethic shown throughout their careers of how hard they've worked in practice, off season, and then during the season, each player has gotten better and better. I'm just fortunate enough that out of almost 1 season that we've developed a great relationship, and they've been a joy to coach. They've been also great leaders for their teammates, great examples, how they gone about their work in practice, on off days, as well as during the season. So it's beautiful. Coach Beeline did a great job of bringing in 2 Ohio guys that, I said Ohio, right? 2 Ohio guys that have did a great job of representing Michigan.
Got time for a couple more. Woody?
Coach, how has senior night changed or maybe evolved a little bit as it went from your senior nights to what it is now?
Sorry, I didn't have a senior night. I missed out on that opportunity because I left a year early, so I only had 3 years here at University of Michigan as a student athlete. This will be my first senior night.
Will you be celebrating just like the players will? Because it's your senior night.
Well, I'm trying to understand, like, what do you mean by that?
Well, you said that you had never had one as a player. Now you'll be able to experience one as a coach. So in effect, it could be your first senior night.
Yeah, that's true, yeah. I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be a great way to celebrate our seniors, but like I stated earlier, I'm also thinking about Nebraska. That's a big priority. I don't want us to forget, we still have a game to play. It's an important game for us, and it's our last regular season game here in Chrysler. I want it to be a good outing, and all of us can leave with a smile on our face.
We'll go Brandon and then Justin.
Coach, I asked John about this last week, and I'm wondering from your perspective, what's the dynamic been like between John and Austin? Because when Austin's in, most of the time that meant John was on the bench. I know they played together a little bit, but what's the dynamic been like between those two as Austin's got more minutes and done well?
Man, they have a great relationship. They both are the number one cheerleaders, and I've seen how on the bench, when John is out there, Austin is very vocal and doing whatever he can to not only help John, but all the other 4 players that are out there giving pointers, being a great leader, saying all the right things in the huddles. I've also seen where Austin is playing well out there on the floor, giving us the spark that we need when John is resting, that John has been his biggest cheerleader, enjoying someone else's success. So it's great that you have players that cheer for one another and care for one another. And so it's been fun for me, just seeing like how our team has bought into just being a family.
Justin?
You coming in here and at the time that you did with the roster that you had, the 2 seniors, I'm wondering how much easier they made the transition for you. Did they help you kind of settle in and were, just maybe some of the discussions you had with
Yes.
your 2 seniors?
That's a great question. The seniors have, and all players, not just the 2 seniors, but all the players on the roster has helped me with my adjustment here. I'm not going to always get it right. I'm going to make mistakes, but they have been in my corner. They've been super supportive. I have learned from my players, and I've learned from Xavier. I learned from John. They both are high IQ ball players. They see things out there on the floor sometimes as we as coaches may miss. There have been times when Xavier he's drawn up an ATO, and I've given him the board to draw it up. And there are times when John has been the vocal person in our huddles at timeouts, and some things that he may see that when it comes to guarding a ball screen, I say, hey, no, coach, let's try it this way. Sure, no problem, let's go. They've been great, man. I'm just fortunate enough to have 2 players that I've walked into a team, and they have embraced me, and they have embraced the new culture.